Hope you're all keeping well. In today's literacy lesson, we are going to be continuing our work with diary features, and in particular today, you are going to be looking at the simple past tense, which should be very familiar to you. And the reason we are going to be looking at that is because, as you know, diaries are written recounts of events that have already happened, so past tense comes in really handy. Now, first thing I'd like you to do is access your Do Now. Your Do Now is going to be a series of sentences, and you are going to be looking at whether to use the word has or have. Now, a big clue here is that have is used when you are talking about the plural, which means more than one object or more than one person, or when you're talking about yourself. So, for instance, I have gone to the park, or they have eaten a huge slice of cake. And has is used for the singular when you're only talking about one other person or one object, as in the cat has a big fluffy tail. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video and look at your Do Now and just identify whether you would use has or have in those sentences. When you're ready, press play and we'll get on to the next task. Okay, so hopefully you have done your Do Now, and what I'm going to do is share my screen with you so we can go through the sentences. So the first one is the local library has closed down because the roof has a leak because there is only one library. Number 2, William's 3 cats all have soft fluffy tails because there is more than one cat. Number 3, Damien has a younger brother and an older sister. Number 4, it's disappointing when you do not have enough time to play outside, because remember I said when you're talking about yourself you use the word have. Number 5, year 3 have the most dojos in the entire school. I hope you're joining in. Number 6, Stig and Barney have a wonderful friendship. And number 7, every party I have had since I was 6 has been at home with my family and friends. So now we are going to be looking at how to write in the simple past tense. Now, by the end of today, you should remember how to use the past tense and when, and also to use the suffix ed. That's going to be really important today. So, as you know, past tense is used when we are writing or talking about events that have already happened. So yesterday, last week, last month, and usually all we have to do is add the suffix ed to the root word. Now remember, the root word is sort of like the building block, and a suffix is a group of letters that you add to the end of a word and it changes its meaning or its form. So in this case, ed changes a word from the present tense, meaning now, to the past tense. So for instance, today I talk, yesterday I talked, and you can see that talk hasn't changed in terms of its spelling. We've just added ed on the end. Really simple. So I'm going to go through a few examples and you can join in at home. So today I walk, yesterday I, add ed to the end of that root word, and I have the word today I shout, yesterday I shouted, because I'm just adding ed to the root word. Now I'm going to give you a few seconds to go through jump, knock, touch and kick and see what the past tense would be of those words. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. So again, pause the video, go through them, maybe write them down, and then we'll go through them together. So pause the video now. Okay, so jump becomes jumped, knock becomes knocked, touch becomes touched, and kick becomes kicked. Now, you should have noticed that you didn't have to change the spelling of any of those root words, you just added ed. Now, that's not always the case, so this might be familiar to some of you. So, for instance, if I have a root word, so my first one there is flap, you have to look at the last letter. So in that case, the last letter is P. Is the letter before that a vowel? Now remember, your vowels are, hopefully you can remember, so I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to recall those. We've got A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U are your vowels. So if the letter before the last letter is a vowel, you've got to double that last letter. So flap, I look at the last letter is a P. The letter before that is an A, which is a vowel. So I double the P. So it becomes flapped with a double P. Same with snap. I look at the root word, which is snap. I look at the last letter, which is P again. The letter before that, is it a vowel? Yep, it is. It's an A, so I double the P. And then after I add ED, so I should get snapped with a double P again. My last one, I have dip. So again, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to go through those steps and maybe have a go at saying out loud what the spelling would be, or maybe even write it down. So again, pause the and I'll be back in about 15 or so seconds. Okay, so hopefully you should have noticed that the last letter again is P. The letter before that is an I, which is a vowel. So you would have doubled the P before adding your suffix, which is, hopefully we said ED. So your word would be dipped. Today I dip my chip in salsa. Yesterday I dipped my chip in salsa. Okay, so now your turn. I want you to have a go at changing these words to past tense, keeping in mind the rules that I've just spoken about. So do you just add ED, or do you have to look at the last letter and double the consonant because there's a vowel before it? So again, pause the video, have a bit of a practice with those words, and then play when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully we've got through those. So hop became hopped, and you had to double the P because before P there was a vowel, which was O. Today I wonder, yesterday I. And hopefully you haven't changed the root word, you've just had to add an ED. Today I look, yesterday I. Good, and you just add an ED to that root word. Today I flip, yesterday I. And hopefully you doubled the P before you added the ED there. Today I cool, yesterday I. And again, you just add an ED. Today I stop, yesterday I. Good, well done. Stopped, and you should have doubled the P again. Now, not all words follow the rule of just adding the ED. So for instance, I've got the word eat. Today I eat a cake. Yesterday I eated a cake. It doesn't really sound right. Similar with the word go. Today I go to the shops. Yesterday I goed to the shops. Doesn't really sound right. So this is what we call the irregular past tense. And this, annoyingly, there isn't really a rule that you can follow. It does come through your reading. So the more that you read, the more that you will notice these past tense words. So today I dream. Yesterday I dreamt. So you just add a T on the end of dreamt. Today I drive. Yesterday I drove. Today I fly. Yesterday I flew. Today I catch. Yesterday I caught. Today I see. Yesterday I saw. So again, you'll notice there isn't any rule there that you follow. That just comes through your reading and noticing what words don't follow the ED rule. So now is the fun part. I've got some sentences here with some mistakes. So I would like you to, again, pause the video, read through these sentences, and you don't have to write them down, but can you identify where I have used, or maybe where I haven't, used the past tense incorrectly? So again, pause the video, have a look, and I will go through them afterwards. So hopefully you've identified your mistakes. Or my mistakes, I should say. So number one, Sonny brought his water bottle to football practice. The past tense word incorrectly used there is brang. It should be brought. Sonny brought his water bottle. Number two, I was so tired that I slept throughout the night. It should be I was so tired that I slept throughout the night. Number three, I buyed myself a delicious ice cream. Very lucky. Unfortunately, though, bide is not the correct word. It should have been bought. Well done. Okay, so now on to your task. So you've got three tasks to do today. The first one is I have given you and this will be on your worksheet. So you have got a small passage and I have written it in the present tense as if everything was happening now. What I would like you to do is to rewrite it in the past tense. So can you notice any words that you would need to change? Do you need to add ed to them, or do you need to follow the irregular pattern? Up to you. You need to have a look at that. And as you're going through it, if you want to challenge yourself, you could up level the vocabulary by adding in some adjectives and adverbs to make it sound a bit more interesting. Once you have done that, your second task is I've given you some sentences again, and just like we did a few seconds ago, can you identify the correction? So you just have to identify what word is used wrong and write the correct past tense. And then the third one, really easy, I've given you some present tense words, and can you write them in the past tense? And if you whiz through all of that, a great challenge would be, can you spot any other irregular past tense words that don't follow the ed rule? Could you write a list and maybe share them today in your afternoon meeting with the rest of the class? So have a go at that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Have a go at that, and we'll have a chat about that today. So have a great day, and I will see you very soon.